Welcome to Real Talk with Reginald D. I'm your host, Reginald D. Today's episode is the power of hope. Today I'm here to speak life into you. There are moments in life when you don't need another strategy. You need hope. I'm talking about the kind of hope that keeps you breathing when your chest feels tight. The kind of hope that keeps you believing when the evidence says quit. The kind of hope that whispers, this is not the end, when everything around you looks like an ending. Some of you listening right now are tired in places nobody can see. You're smiling in public and struggling in private. You're showing up for everybody else and quietly wondering who's going to show up for you. And I need you to hear this clearly. You're not weak because you're tired. You're human, and that's it. But you cannot afford to lose hope, because hope is not emotion. Hope is oxygen. Take oxygen away from the body, and it shuts down. Take hope away from a human being, they start to shrink. Hope is what keeps you moving when you don't have answers yet. Romans 15, chapter 13, verse says, may the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. Notice something powerful there. It doesn't say you manufacture hope. It said God fills you with it. That means hope is not something you hustle for. It's something you receive. But here's the real talk part. You have to choose to hold on to it, because life will try to convince you that your current chapter is the whole story, and it's not. Let me tell you something I learned the hard way. When I was going through seasons where doors wouldn't open, when people I thought would support me didn't, when rejection stacked up, when finances were tight, when family didn't understand my vision, there were nights I sat quietly and asked God, am I crazy for believing in bigger? And in those moments, I realized something. Hopelessness is loud. Hope is quiet. Hopelessness screams, look at the evidence. Hope whispers, look at the author. Hopelessness says, you tried and it didn't work. Hope says, try again, but wiser. Hopelessness says, you're behind. But hope says, you've been built. You see, hope is not denial. Hope is defiance. It is the decision to believe that something greater is being formed in you, even when you can't see it. Imagine you're standing in the middle of a field in the dead of winter. The ground looks frozen. The trees are bare. The air is cold. Nothing looks alive. If you judge that field by what you see in the winter, you'll call it dead. But a farmer knows better. The farmer knows that beneath that frozen ground, seeds are still working. Just because you can't see growth doesn't mean growth isn't happening. Some of you are in winter right now. You think because nothing is blooming that nothing is becoming. But what if this is your root season? Roots grow in silence. Roots grow in darkness. Roots grow when nobody is clapping. And the deeper the roots, the stronger the spring. Jeremiah 29, chapter 11, verse says, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Hope and future are connected. If the enemy can steal your hope, he can distort your view of your future. And when your view of your future is distorted, you start making small decisions. You stop applying. You stop dreaming. You stop speaking up. You stop trying. And then life shrinks. But hope expands your vision. Hope reminds you that this pain is producing something. Hope reminds you that delay is not denial. Hope reminds you that even if this door closed, it does not mean your destiny did. Some of you really need to hear this today. You are not behind in life. You are becoming. There's a difference. Behind means you missed it. Becoming means you're in process. And process is uncomfortable. Becoming requires pruning. Becoming requires stretching. Becoming requires endurance. But here's the part nobody tells you. Hope is a muscle. If you don't exercise it, it weakens. So how do you exercise hope? You rehearse what God has already done. You remember the times you survived what you thought would break you. You remember the bills that got paid when you didn't know how. You remember the doors that opened unexpectedly. You remember the healing that came slowly. You remember the strength that showed up right on time. Hope grows when you revisit your own testimony. Because if God did it before, He's not confused now. Somebody listening right now is facing a situation that feels final. A diagnosis, a divorce, a disappointment, a financial collapse, a betrayal. And you're thinking, this changes everything. Maybe it does, but it does not cancel everything. You are still here. And as long as you are breathing, purpose is still possible. Let me speak directly to the person who feels like quitting. Do not make a permanent decision based on a temporary emotion. Feelings pass, seasons shift, storms move. Life is not a straight highway. It's more like a mountain road with sharp turns, blind spots, steep climbs. If you judge the journey by one curve, you will panic. But the curve is not the destination. It's a part of the design. Some of you are on a curve right now, and you can't see what's ahead. But that doesn't mean the road ends there. It just means you haven't turned fully yet. And hope is what keeps your hands steady on the wheel. Hebrews 11, chapter 1st verse says, now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. Hope and faith are connected. Hope is the expectation. Faith is the action. You don't wait until you feel confident. You move because you believe something greater is forming. And let me be clear about something. Hope does not mean pretending everything is fine. Hope means believing everything is working. Working on your character. Working on your patience. Working on your strength. Working on your humility. Working on your capacity. Sometimes the very thing you're praying to escape is the thing that's preparing you. You don't develop resilience on easy days. You don't develop depth in shallow seasons. You don't develop empathy when life is comfortable. Pressure produces perspective, and hope reminds you that pressure has purpose. Now let me talk to the person who feels forgotten. You've been consistent. You've been faithful. You've been serving. And it feels like your name never gets called. Hope says your time is not late. It's aligned. Comparison kills hope because you start measuring your behind the scenes against someone else's highlight reel. Stop doing that. Your timeline is not their timeline. Your assignment is not their assignment. And your growth is not on their clock. Hope frees you from the pressure to rush. Let me give you something practical. If you want to protect your hope, guard what you listen to. Guard what you watch. Guard what you repeat to yourself. Your inner dialogue either fuels hope or drains it. If you constantly say, this never works for me, your brain will find evidence. But if you say, I am in process, I am growing, I am being prepared, your mind starts aligning with possibility. Speak life over yourself. Not because it sounds good, but because words shape belief, and belief shapes behavior. and behavior shapes destiny. Hope is not naive. Hope is courageous. It takes courage to believe again after disappointment. It takes courage to trust again after betrayal. It takes courage to dream again after failure. But here's the truth. The fact that you're still listening means something inside of you hasn't given up. That flicker inside of you, that's hope. Protect it, feed it, nurture it. Because hope is the bridge between where you are and where you're going. Without it, you stall. With it, you endure. And endurance always wins. I'm going to leave you with this. You're not defined by what broke you. You're defined by what you chose to believe after it. And today I'm asking you to choose hope. Not because it's easy, but because it's powerful. And because your future is still calling your name. Thank you for listening to Real Talk Reginald D. If you enjoyed listening to Real Talk Reginald D, please rate and review on Apple Podcasts. See you next time.